What's up, guys? Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lanturn, bringing you guys our Week 2 Team Builder for MWPA Season 8 Earth, taking on Odin and the Real Mareep. His team consists of Mew, Como-O, Salazzle, Obstagoon, Vaporeon, Steelix, Avalugg, Alchemy, Durant, Rotom Fan, and Delmise. It's probably the most threatening roster out of all of them. He got pretty much a solid mon at every single role in this meta and in Galar decks, so I'm very scared about this one. Priority options, he's got the Mew with Vacuum Wave. I assume it learns it in Galar decks. I'm not entirely sure. And Durant with First Impression. Hazard setting, he's got Mew with Rocks, Spikes, and Toxic Spikes. Como with Rocks, and Steelix with Rocks. Removal options is the Mew with Defog, which I think it retained this generation. Avalugg with Rapid Spin. Rotom with Defog, which I don't believe it actually has. And Delmise with Rapid Spin. And then 4x weaknesses is the Como-O to Fairy, Salazzle to Ground, Obstagoon to Fighting, and Durant to Fire. It's kind of a weird team, but it checks off pretty much all of the boxes that you'd want to see. So, yeah, I'm not confident in this matchup. I think offensively I have some things that can maybe put in some work, but defensively it's very difficult to wall his team with mine, just because my team in general just isn't very defensive. So, yeah, we'll see about that one. Obstagoon is like a gigantic problem. It's I could see anything coming here. I didn't really like take anything off. I think it could all come against me for sure. Lots of big problems. Vaporeon being one of them. It turns out Raichu's just not going to be good enough. And there aren't really any options for me to drop anything for because all of the good mons are kind of just taken. So we're just kind of have to suck it up with the team and move on. Qwilfish is up first on my end. I'm running a physically defensive Qwilfish with Spikes, Liquidation, Toxic, and Poison Jab. Excuse me. It's a really good switch into Alchemy, although Alchemy does get Psychic, I believe. It's also probably most likely my my Como-O answer. It's going to probably be my first Obstagoon answer. And potentially an Avalugg answer. It's probably my first impression switch in. If I had to guess, it would be my first impression switch in, other than like Aegislash. Spike's put on a lot of pressure on this team. He does have a couple ways to spin, of course, but Spike's damage is going to be pretty crucial. Because I'm not bringing Pilliswine, I don't have Rocks, so Spikes is my only way of getting hazards up, and Rotom will be able to be fine with that, but I'm not entirely sure if it's coming. I think because Conk doesn't get knockoff this gen anymore, that Mew will be a fine answer for him to Conk. So, I don't know if Rotom needs to come against me. We'll see. Toxic is there because not a lot of stuff gets Toxic this gen, and I would really like to Toxic that Vaporeon. There's not really going to be a better way to deal with it. I could also Toxic the Mew. I'm not going to outspeed it, but I could Toxic it, assuming it's not just going to Oko me. I don't know. Orbeetle's next, making its debut this season with Psychic, Bug Buzz, Protect, and Recover. It's a very defensive set. I don't actually have a special switch in to Salazzle, so Salazzle is going to be probably a giant issue. And if it's Scarf Salazzle, I might just lose. Luckily, I have mons that will prevent it from using either a fire move or a poison move. So if it is Scarf Salazzle, it's not going to be able to get more than one kill at a time, that is. And I will just have to continuously sack stuff until I have Arcanine and Aegislash as the only two left. And then I could play a mind game with that. But yeah, Salazzle, big problem. I don't have good answers on my team. Like, they don't exist. So there's not much I can do about that other than, like, really specially defensive Pilliswine, which still gets worn down, and he can just switch. So, not ideal. Not ideal. I would have really preferred to have a better bulky water on my team, and I could have had Vaporeon, actually, that was on his team, but I decided to go with Qwilfish, which I think may have been a mistake, looking back on it, but then I run the risk of having 0 hazards, so I don't know. Again, I'm defensive. Not much more to say about it than that. I can hopefully take on like Mew or something. You know, I could Psychic the Salazzle back if I live a hit. That's why I'm a little bit specially bulky here. I don't know. Mainly supposed to be my Como-O switch in. It's horrible against the Obstagoon. It's horrible against the Durant. It's horrible against the Delmise, but it can kind of take on Mew and Como, and maybe the Salazzle. Weavile, I'm just running an offensive Weavile. Didn't really see a reason not to. Ice Shard is super helpful at picking off low health Mew or like Dragon Dance's Como. I think this is Omni Boost Como, but I can't remember. Actually, I feel like it's not because then maybe it would have gone round 1. Either way, Low Kick for Obscune, Avalugg, Steelix. Throat Chop for Delmise and anything else that I would want to click a Dark type move into. Poison Jab for the Alchemy, which seems like a pretty easy switch in. And like Alchemy into Steelix seems really easy. And I've got Life Orb, which is going to wear me down with rocks and stuff. So I'm considering maybe swapping out to Heavy Duty Boots. But I do think that it's necessary. Damage-wise, there we go. Oh my god, it's early in the morning. I'm very sorry. Running a little bit of speed on here, enough to outspeed Salazzle. So I should outspeed Salazzle, and then Throat Chop will OHKO it with Life Orb. Arcanine is next. I'm running a fast Arcanine. It was originally meant to be defensive, but it's got Roar, Flare Blitz, Morning Sun, and Wild Charge. So it's another Como answer. It's another Durant answer because I resist Dual Stab. Potentially something that I can get rid of, like set up Mew or set up Como. Maybe set up Obstagoon if I'm careful enough. But I'm rocking the double Intimidate, so I could just cycle Intimidates on Obstagoon. Flare Blitz just hits like Steelix, Avalugg, and then Wild Charge hits Vaporeon, which is a pretty obvious switch into this. Solar Beam is not good enough this game. So we're going with Wild Charge, and I got Morning Sun for recovery with myself with leftovers as well. Togekiss, I'm running a Scarf Togekiss, which is outspeeding Salazzle. Excuse me. The way that these speed tiers are set up, Togekiss is actually outsped by pretty much any other Scarfer that he would want to bring. So I'm solely outspeeding Salazzle, because that's the best I can do, to be honest. So it lets me be modest, which is kind of cool. And then I only need Air Slash and Aura Sphere this game. Air Slash just flinches everything to death, except for the Rotom Fan, which I'm just not going to touch, and I have nothing for that. Hopefully Orbeetle's enough. Where was I going with this? I don't remember where I was going with this one, actually. Raichu would have been actually a really good check to the Rotom Fan, so I'm kind of regretting not bringing Raichu. Actually, maybe I can drop something for Raichu. Maybe I could drop, like, Weavile for Raichu. Grass Knot. No, I don't really offensively check anything anymore. Okay, anyways, Scarf Togekiss, Air Slash, Aura Sphere. Aura Sphere is there for the Steelix, again, like I mentioned, and potentially the Obstagoon, but Air Slash just flinches everything else except the Rotom to death. Trick, in case I really want to get rid of my Scarf late game, and I can cripple, like, Vaporeon or something. And then Morning Sun, if I do trick off the Scarf, gives me some recovery options. Last but not least is Aegislash. Choice Banded Aegislash actually looks kind of decent this game. I'm outrunning No Speed Vaporeon, so I should outspeed that. And then Banded Shadow Claw should, in theory, be a 2-shot. It is 140 attack when it's in Blade form, so it's pretty significant. I'm running a lot of bulk because I can't outspeed anything else anyways, and its Automize doesn't look great this week. Close Combat is there for the Obstagoon, which would obviously want to switch into my Ghost attacks. Iron Head is there for the Alchemy mainly, because it's not really going to do that much more to anything else. Shadow Claw is much more spammable against this team, and then Shadow Sneak can pick off like Mew late game. Conk, I thought about bringing Conk just to revenge Obstagoon, but Obstruct is so easy that he might actually just be able to live hits if he was like Chople Obstruct, and kill me back with Facade or something. Well, maybe not actually if he was Chople, but Pilliswine I wanted to bring as well, and I don't have the room this week. It looked good against this team, to be honest. I don't know what I would swap out for it. Potentially Quillfish, I guess. But Quillfish resisted Como's hits, so I thought that was a little bit important. Flapple just does not have a matchup this game. Raichu, again, like I've been talking about, I thought could possibly come. And then Shedinja, not so good when Salazzle and Obstagoon are very obvious brings against my team. So that's that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose, but hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you guys for the match.